Hello, welcome back. In this lesson, I'm going to explain how attackers use malicious scripts to target users through trusted websites. That means that in this lesson, we'll be considering cross-site scripting, which focuses on abusing trust between users and web applications. And having a good understanding of this helps explain why secure front-end design is just as important as back-end security. So let's get right into it. Why do we need to know about cross-site scripting or XSS? XSS is one of the most widespread web security problems. It is one of the most common web vulnerabilities. It targets users rather than servers. It exploits trust in legitimate websites, and a single flaw can affect many users at once. Cross-site scripting or XSS is a browser-focused attack. It is a type of web attack, and it injects malicious scripts into web pages, and the malicious scripts run in the victim's browser, and it abuses trust between the user and the website. How is XSS different from SQL injection? XSS and SQL injection target different parts of an application. SQL injection targets databases, while XSS targets users. SQL injection affects backend systems, and XSS affects browsers and user sessions. Let's now consider how cross-site scripting attacks happen. XSS begins with unsafe handling of input and output. The process starts with an application accepting user input, then the input is not properly validated or escaped, and a malicious script is injected, stored, or reflected, and after that, the script executes in another user's browser. We have different types of XSS or cross-site scripting, and one of them is stored XSS or stored cross-site scripting. Stored XSS is persistent and dangerous. The question is how? The malicious script is saved on the server, and it is often stored in comments or user profiles. It runs every time the page is viewed, and this makes it highly dangerous and long-lasting. Let's now consider the second type, which is reflected XSS. Reflected XSS happens immediately after delivery. The script is reflected in the server response. It is often delivered through crafted links, and it commonly appears in search or error pages. DOM-based XSS happens entirely in the browser. The attack occurs through insecure JavaScript logic. The page is modified directly in the browser. The server may not see the malicious input. The page is modified directly in the browser, and this makes it more difficult to detect. What can attackers do with XSS? XSS gives attacker control over user sessions, so they can steal session cookies, they can hijack user accounts, they can redirect users to malicious websites, and they can perform actions as the victim. Let's now consider XSS and session hijacking. XSS often leads directly to session abuse, and here is how. Attackers can use malicious scripts to access session data, they can impersonate legitimate users, they can bypass login controls, and due to all of this, trust between user and sites can be broken. Let's now consider XSS in alignment with the CIA triad. XSS mainly targets confidentiality and integrity. Confidentiality is broken through data theft. Integrity can be affected by modifying content. Availability is rarely the main target, and the focus is always user exploitation. Let's consider real-world XSS impact. XSS has serious real-world consequences. One of them is that user accounts can be taken over. The second one is that sensitive data may leak. Third one is that malware can be delivered through trusted sites. And the last one is that user trust in platforms can be lost. XSS has been around for a long period of time. And why does this still exist? The reason is that it remains common due to development challenges. Input validation is sometimes weak, output encoding may be missing, front-end logic can be complex, and security is sometimes added too late. What are the basic prevention we have for XSS? Preventing XSS relies on safe handling of data. So we can validate and sanitize all input, we can encode output correctly before rendering, we can use content security policy, and we can avoid unsafe JavaScript patterns. Just the way we consider secure development mindset for SQL injection, it's also good to consider the same for XSS. Since XSS has to do with the front-end design, secure front-end design requires defensive thinking. And how can we go about this? Number one, never trust user input. Number two, treat the browser as a hostile environment. Number three, assume attackers control user input. Number four, always build security into front-end design from the start. What have we learned so far in this lesson? This lesson explains why XSS is so impactful. We have seen that XSS directly targets users. We've seen that it abuses trust between users and websites. We've seen that small input flaws can impact many users. And we have seen the prevention techniques we can use to mitigate against this attack. Let's take a test together. What best explains why cross-site scripting, that is XSS, is such a serious web security issue? Pause the video, read through the option, select your answer, and drop that in the comments, then come back to play the video. So what's your answer? The correct answer is D. XSS abuses trust in legitimate websites to run malicious scripts in users' browsers, allowing attackers to steal data, hijack sessions, and manipulate user actions. That's all for this lesson. If you're here to subscribe to our channel, please do that now, and do not forget to like, share, and drop a comment on what you've learned in this lesson. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson.